here again for Il-2 1946 Soviet fighter campaign. You see a different map here. The map is Crimea. Yes, it's a thing. Sevastopol is here. The front line is here and here. You can see that our forces got thrown the hell out of the Crimea, but the Sevastopol, the fortress city, is still defending. You might have thought, wow, we won Moscow, so we're going on the offensive. No, it doesn't work that way. This was the first counteroffensive of the war. Actually, first strategic counteroffensive of the war. If you don't count the British General Wavell, Operation Compass, which took out the Italians in North Africa. And the Italians had to be rescued by Rommel's Africa Corps. Okay, it was the second strategic offensive of the war. I have to give the hated British the props here for pulling off the first successful Allied counteroffensive of the war, or offensive, if you might say that. So, of course, you might the offensive, a counteroffensive or offensive in front of Moscow was probably more important than the one in Africa. I mean, let's face it. This is where World War II was decided. Africa was a sideshow, really. Unless you're British, that was the most important thing ever. But anyway, moving on. This is the fortress city. Lots of flak. I remember flying as a German in this map. There's lots of flak here. So German fighters and bombers are going to get fucked. We are flying a new plane, and I will see what happens after I read this a little bit. So it's beginning of spring 1942. Situation in Crimea looks promising. Haha, no. Amphibious landings. Yeah, what happened was the Soviets were desperate to hold this area because it was, you know, tying up considerable German forces. So what happened was they were actually doing amphibious landings all over the coast here to kind of put the spanner in Axis German works. And those landings were not really successful. Usually what happened was they were massacred. They were made with Dutch Soviet Marines, who were actually in Sevastopol defending, professional troops. They were mostly done with the sailors. And then a whole propaganda, Soviet-era propaganda got made of the Black Death, or Chornaya Smert, that the Soviet sailors were so successful and so feared by the Germans, and so brazen and so brave. Well, they might have been brazen, they might have been brave, but they were not really trained for warfare on land. So what happened in lots of these things, in lots of these landings, was the Germans retreated. The Soviets, of course, were told to always attack. So when the Germans retreated, well, we attack. So they attacked. And then the Germans just cut them off from the ship support. They encircled them and they killed them off. So that's what happened to most of these naval landings. Remember, these were not done by Marines, by Soviet Marines trained for this. These guys were here in Sevastopol defending. What happened was these landings were mostly made by infantry and mostly by the Soviet sailors. So there. Also, this was not like D-Day. I mean, these were just you know, if they had a couple of destroyers as support, that was a big thing that was a big landing. Mostly these were just MTBs, motor torpedo boats, and stuff like that. So, Sevastopol, we're gonna defend it. We're gonna try to defend it. Spoiler alert, it's gonna be trouble. We're not gonna defend it, I think. But let's see what plane we have. And I didn't want to press that, actually. But let's see what plane we have. I will have to actually arm it. But okay, let's load it. It's a brand new map. So what happens, happens. Let's turn on the engine. And what do we have here? What is that thing? What is that thing? Can you read it? It's a Yaker. We're gonna see it in the end. We're gonna see it later. We have rockets, unguided rockets in Wales on our plane. So I will cut off the video and let's see what the Yaker, you know, does.